Hello viewers, if you are new to the channel, please hit the like and subscribe button and share it with your friends. Also, click on the bell icon so that you get the latest information about the videos that are uploaded.
Hello students, welcome back to the new video. In this video, we are going to continue the ongoing chapter number 4, metals and non-metals. In today's session, we will discuss the chemical properties of metals and non-metals in that reaction with the bases. First of all, we will see how does a metal react with a base. Some metals react with bases to form salts and hydrogen gas. So, some metals react with bases and form their respective salts along with the release of hydrogen gas. So, this reaction can be represented in general as metal plus base gives salt plus hydrogen. We will see this reaction by taking aluminium as an example. Aluminium is a metal and sodium hydroxide is a base. When aluminium is heated with sodium hydroxide solution, then sodium aluminate and hydrogen gas are formed. So here which metal we are taking? Aluminium, and sodium hydroxide is the base taken. When we heat this aluminium and sodium hydroxide solution, we get a salt. What is that salt? Sodium aluminate, and also hydrogen gas is formed. So the chemical equation representing this reaction is NaOH plus Al gives NaAlO2 plus H2. Here, as you know, NaOH represent the chemical formula of sodium hydroxide. Al is the symbol of aluminium. And what is the formula of sodium aluminate? NaAlO2. And hydrogen gas, that is H represents the hydrogen gas. So this is the chemical equation representing the reaction of aluminium with sodium hydroxide. Here you can see that aluminium formed its respective salt, that is sodium aluminate, and hydrogen gas is released. Now let us discuss an activity. The aim of the activity is to demonstrate the formation of hydrogen gas in the reaction of aluminium metal with sodium hydroxide. Okay, for that we have to take 5 ml of freshly prepared sodium hydroxide solution in a boiling tube. So, the purpose of performing this activity is to show that the gas formed in the reaction between aluminium metal and sodium hydroxide is hydrogen gas. And for that, what we need to take? We have to take the freshly prepared sodium hydroxide solution in a boiling tube. Here boiling tube means little bit bigger test tube. Now drop a piece of aluminium foil in the sodium hydroxide solution and heat the boiling tube over a burner. So in the second step we have to put a piece of aluminium foil in the sodium hydroxide solution and gently heat the solution over the burner. In the third step, we will bring a lighted matchstick near the mouth of boiling tube. We will find that the gas produced burns with a pop sound, showing that it is hydrogen gas. So, in the third step, what we are doing? We have to bring a lighted matchstick near the boiling tube, mouth of the boiling tube, because when the reaction takes place, hydrogen gas is released and that comes out, that is liberated. So when we bring the matchstick near the mouth of the boiling tube, the hydrogen gas starts burning with a pop sound, which is a characteristic property of hydrogen gas. So the pop sound produced when the matchstick brought near the mouth of the boiling tube shows that the gas formed is hydrogen. Zinc metal also reacts with sodium hydroxide solution to form hydrogen gas. Thus, aluminium and zinc are the two common metals which react with bases to produce hydrogen gas. See, we have seen that I told you only some metals reacts with the bases to form their respective salts and hydrogen gas. So another example of the metal that reacts with base is zinc. Here zinc metal also can react with sodium hydroxide and form their respective salt and hydrogen gas. So what we can say, aluminium and zinc are the two common metals which react with the bases. In general, we can say that some metals react with sodium hydroxide to produce hydrogen gas. Here one thing we have to note, that all metals do not react with bases to produce hydrogen gas. Just like acids, all metals are not reacting with the bases to produce hydrogen gas. Now let us see how nonmetals react with the bases. Some nonmetals react with bases like sodium hydroxide, but no hydrogen gas is produced. See here, nonmetals generally do not react with the bases. Only some nonmetals reacts with the bases like sodium hydroxide, but in that case also hydrogen gas is not produced. Usually the reactions of nonmetals with bases are very complex, which you are not going to learn at this level. Now let us see what is reactivity series of metals. Some metals are chemically very reactive, whereas other metals are less reactive or unreactive. See students, in this chapter when we discuss about the chemical properties of metals, very often we have used more reactive metals, less reactive metals, etc. Then what is this and how can we come to know which metal is more reactive and which metal is less reactive? So on the basis of the vigor of the reactions of various metals with oxygen, water and acids, as well as the displacement reactions, the metals have been arranged in a group according to their chemical reactivities. Therefore, to understand which metal is more reactive and which one is less reactive with oxygen, water and acids, these metals are arranged in a particular group. And what is the basis of this arrangement? Vigor of the reactions, that is the speed at which the metals reacts with other elements or other substances like oxygen, water and acids. They are arranged in a particular group. The arrangement of metals in a vertical column in the order of decreasing reactivities is called the reactivity series of metals. So how can we define reactivity series? It is the arrangement of metals in a vertical column in the order of decreasing reactivities. It is called the reactivity series of metals. The reactivity series, the most reactive metal is placed at the top, whereas the least reactive metal is placed at the bottom. So what is the order? Reactivity series is a vertical column of arrangement of metals, and in this series the most reactive metal is placed at the top, whereas the least reactive metal is placed at the bottom. So we can say that when we move from top to bottom, the reactivity of the metal decreases. So where do we find the most reactive metal? At the top, and the least reactive metal we can found at the bottom of the column. Here is the reactivity series of certain metals. At the top we can see potassium, then it comes sodium, lithium, calcium, magnesium, aluminium, zinc, iron, copper, silver, and the last one is gold. So here it is marked as most reactive. So which is the most reactive metal? Potassium. And when we move towards downward, we can see that the reactivity decreases, and at last it is gold. So gold is the least reactive metal. Please note that potassium is the most reactive metal, so it has been placed at the top of the reactivity series. As we come down in the reactivity series, the chemical reactivity of metals decreases gradually. So why do we keep potassium at the top of the reactivity series? Because it is the most reactive metal. As we come down, the reactivity level of the metals slowly decreases and the least reactivity metal is placed at the bottom of the series. Now, why do we learn this reactivity series? This reactivity series will help you to understand the next topic, that is displacement reaction. When we move from top to bottom in the reactivity series, we can see that sodium is less reactive than potassium, calcium is less reactive than sodium, magnesium is less reactive than calcium, aluminium is less reactive than magnesium, zinc is less reactive than aluminium, iron is less reactive than zinc, copper is less reactive than iron, and silver is less reactive than copper. So this shows the reactivity order of the metals. Gold, being the least reactive metal here, has been placed at the bottom of the reactivity series. So which metal is found at the bottom of the reactivity series? It is gold. And what is the reason? Because gold is the least reactive metal. That is, gold does not react easily with any of these metals or any other substances. Why we should remember this reactivity series then? We should remember the reactivity series of metals as it will help us in understanding the displacement reactions of metals. In the next topic, we are going to learn about displacement reactions. To understand the displacement reactions, we should know the reactivity order of different metals. So students, I hope you have understood the topics very well. But still, if you have any doubt, you can write in the comment section. I will surely try to solve it as early as possible. Here are some review questions. Please solve it in your notebook. Thank you.